Hello, this is Positive Vibes Enterprise. I am Tom Goodwin. This is Michelle Ron Keogh,
Hi, everybody.
and the subject today is incompetence. And I don't know if some people may not. I would expect that everybody would understand how much incompetence there is in our society today, and so much sloppiness, and how you go into an organization and one side doesn't know what the other side is doing. Um, but I've seen it. I'm very aware of it because of my own uniqueness that I don't fit in very well. So I'm never taken into account. In other words, I'm the one that they never plan for. One of the things that I always wonder about is how can a regular person that's not super brilliant handle income tax as well? It's really ridiculous what the government expects from regular people, and I consider that the government is incompetent if it doesn't make their system simple enough and reasonable enough so that anybody can understand it. If people have to solve a puzzle every time they're trying to figure out how to go through something, they're expecting too much, and it shouldn't expect everybody to have the capability of solving these crazy puzzles. They're trying to figure out what strange type of situation they set up.
Yeah, definitely. And there's also incompetence when it comes to the resources and things that information that you might need to keep benefits going or any livelihood, SSI, things like that makes it really difficult to simply keep what you need in your graphs of understanding.
Well, the part of the problem is we don't have good lawmakers, and it seems that lawyers just love to have things really complicated. That's how they stay in business. It's like one lawyer doesn't understand anything about the law except for their own specialty. They have to consult another lawyer if it's outside of their specialty. So, in other words, we have all this legal mess or all this all these words and stuff. In other words, we don't clean it up. We don't streamline it. We don't make it more reasonable and logical. Maybe because the people out there aren't capable of it. They're incompetent. They're
Yes.
not able to look back and say, these old laws that we've had on the books for so long need to be gotten rid of or revised in a reasonable way. And then when they get the lawyers involved, the lawyers just love to add more and more language. And we could change the system, but I think we have to spiritually evolve a little bit. We have to, in a sense, make the system simpler and allow a little bit more judgment by the people involved rather than having everything spelled out to minute detail to the point that nobody can figure it out.
Yes, and this goes down to customer service as well. Even you find it in different companies and things that you really need to get things done and accomplished. And there's misleading information, and the customer service is poor, and you get to run around and different numbers that don't connect to the right departments that you need to get the information from. So it can get really frustrating. And those are the times that we need to speak up on these misleading companies and change from the inside out the way they run things.
And some of the companies may have been developed too much, been established for too long, and got too much of a competitive edge, so they get sloppy because they can get away with it. They get away with it.
Or if they already have your money, that's the really bad one when you pay for a service and then you get misleading or you don't get the service that you wanted. And then it becomes a really bad hassle to get the customer service, to get the satisfaction that it takes that we deserve as consumers in America.
And a lot of the problem is, like, if we complain to somebody on the lower level. And the person on the lower level, a lot of times, has no ability to pass those complaints up to the top. And the people at the top could care less because they're so disconnected from everything, and they a lot of times are getting such high salaries that they think they're so important that they don't need to listen to all these people that get low salaries. They tend to have in our class structure, tend to create walls or blockage so the information doesn't come from the people that are doing the nuts and bolts. The people that are on the ground dealing with the details, the everyday thing, a lot of times can't reach the people at the top that are removed from it. So you don't get a well coordinated system. Now I've been developing spiritual theories and things like that and techniques and whatever. And what I find is I have to have them very reasonable, very streamlined, and very easy to work with. Well, in our society, I think we get caught up in the minutiae, and we don't have the backbone to develop that kind of backbone structure that'll make things work better, because it's like the superhighways in the basic structure that'll make things work. And we don't know how to do it because we don't have the backbone ourselves. We don't have the strength ourselves. And that's my prejudice, because I'm a spiritual pioneer and I don't see it. I see us as a hedonistic, overindulgent society that doesn't know where the serious priorities are and cannot deal with the serious problems well enough because we're not focused and channeled well enough spiritually.
Yes.
And we don't have our priorities set, and we don't really care enough about the people that are incompetence is hurting. We don't have that sensitivity. We just as soon have, like in the United States, we have the highest per capita prison population. We don't care. We'll just lock up the people that don't fit in and lose control of themselves because of it.
Yes, there's a lot of things in society that really need to change, and this lack of empathy is a big key. That if we can have more empathy of what's going on, know that our voice is important, and rise up to the occasion, we can fix the society's system from the inside out. The people that work there, we can touch their hearts and get the right bills and right things and right voices to where we can make a spiritual difference and get rid of this incompetent world full of lack of caring in the customer service and in the higher government programs.
But a lot of the times it's all about me. It's all about what works for me. And what do I care? That's just somebody else that's getting messed over. Why should I care about what happens to the other guy? As long as things are working out all right for me, why should I care? And that kind of attitude is what creates the incompetence and the lack of paying attention to things. And then if you have power, like supposedly you're a police officer or a legal system, and you have power, a lot of times you abuse that power because you can get an attitude that will demonize certain people in certain parts of the public, and they don't mind mistreating these people or giving them misinformation or messing with them and treating them improperly, because they say, well, who cares about them? They're the individuals that should be locked up, or they just have a negative attitude that does not want to fix problems, just wants to sort of like separate themselves from people that have problems, and they don't care what happened to them. I have my money, I have my nice house. Why did I care about that there are people homeless that are struggling? Should I care if there's people with such low quality life? But then what happens is these people that have that kind of insensitivity, so tuned out spiritually, tend to have habits that are related to that, which means that they tend to not eat properly, become unhealthy. So they have negative consequences because they're tuning themselves out. They become overweight and unhealthy and a whole lot of, and they don't know how to exercise and treat themselves really well, because their mistreatment of other people ends up going into themselves. Because they were more vigilant with other people, that vigilance would also affect themselves. So in a sense, it's not a good thing. In other words, what you do to other people has impact on yourself. So if you want to be able to be able to treat yourself better and get yourself have a higher quality of life for yourself, you have to work at helping other people to develop a higher quality of life. And I mean inner quality of life, being healthier, having more spiritual awareness and sensitivity. That's where quality of life really counts. It's not whether you own a lot, because what happens when you own a lot, it tends to destroy your quality of life, becoming too much of a burden, and to create make you more insensitive. So what a lot of people think of as quality of life is not at all quality of life. It's overindulgence and tend to take away your quality of life rather than improve
Yes.
it.
Also, it's important to keep active so that way you know that you're not falling into that. And remember that social activities do stretch your spiritual challenges and knowledge. And so that is important as well. And that also builds empathy for others around you. So being involved and being active with yourself, your health, all the things that are important. And remember that you are a voice and you do matter. And we do need your voice to speak out of the things that happen in society so we can change it one example at a time.
But it's just hard work. It's so much hard work to get healthy, to exercise, to have good habits, and it's so much hard work to improve the how well to become more competent in work. Work is just hard. Being competent is just so hard. It's too much for a lot of people. It just seems. No, and I'm a stoic, so I tend to be all work. And some people, it's don't think I have lack humor because I'm so much into work and so much into getting the most out of myself. But um, the thing is, if you're tough spiritually, you will want to work because you want to get results. And that's what we need to get more in this country and in the world, more of a result-oriented focus. And we don't have that. We we tend not to. A lot of times, people just want to retire. They want to escape. They want to. They work hard to make money so they don't have to work. And to me, what you need to get the attitude is being a worker and being able to work hard and have that kind of character is so valuable. You don't want to ever stop working because you want that character. And you don't want to stop working because you see the serious problems and all the stuff that needs to be done. And you see all the incompetence. You keep seeing all this incompetence. You want to work harder and you want to straighten people out. And you especially want to straighten people out of the type that think they have it all straightened out already because they're the ones that aren't working at it anymore. The people at the top that think they are doing a good job, but they're too buried in their high salaries and other things to really be connected to what's really happening. So they're not working as hard as they can work. And I know that people can work a lot harder than they do, but they have to work first on their inner being. They have to do this. My spiritual training is all about strengthening one's inner being, and that's really hard work to transform yourself within. And we are still in the dark ages as far as I'm concerned spiritually. We can work harder in that area. And once we work harder in that area, it'd be easier to work on the surface. It all starts from within.
Yes, one example at a time. And that's what we're talking about is being the example that we want to see in our world.
Yeah, so we don't, it's just that we can make things more streamlined, more reasonable, more effective with the word trying to think of it where you have our assembly line, you develop more efficiency and so forth. Productivity. There are ways we can do that. We don't have to be so disorganized. We can do a better job. It's just that people don't have high enough standards at this point.
Raise your standards up, and then the things that you want around you become higher in standard as well. So what reflects inside reflects outside, law of attraction. And you do need to start from within. And once you get the momentum, it becomes habitual. And watch out, world, here you come.
And we don't have to have a world that has so many problems because of incompetence. All these serious problems that exist in this world in a highly technological age. We can handle them, but we have to develop further spiritually.
Yes.
We have to increase our competence. The competence of the caveman age is not good enough for the competence of this modern technologically advanced age with all the problems that comes with advanced technical advancement. So. Right. So we have to up our game. We have to get better because of the age we live in. We have to develop more spiritual maturity. The mythology, the fantasy type beliefs of the past that aren't practical and don't focus us enough on this world and on working hard in this world need to go. We need to replace them with spiritual theories that will work in the real world at making a difference with the problems that are here, because how capable we are spiritually is reflected in the world around us as a collective population. This world is in pretty bad shape spiritually, and it's going to take one person at a time, but we have to up our game. We have to do better. And I have developed all these spiritual theories through extreme hard work so that I can do my part to advance and lessen the incompetence and help us to solve all the intensely complicated problems that we have. And why have I worked so hard? Because I have been a person that didn't fit into the work environment, and so I had to prove myself so much more than anybody else that I was a hard worker, and I made it my goal to work harder than anybody else would be capable.
The ones that are in the trenches and have a hard time surviving are the warriors that we're talking about, the ones that fall down and get back up. It doesn't matter if you fall. It doesn't matter how you get back up. It doesn't matter if you spill the milk. It doesn't matter how you clean it up. And the ones that push and persevere and have resilience, those are the ones. Those are the trainers. Those are the ones, the leaders and the people that we're reaching out for to help the world evolve for themselves, and the examples that it takes to be that.
Yeah, we need the problem solvers. We need the people that are aware of the problems because they have felt them directly, a lot of them. Like with me, I felt a lot of them directly, but there are other people that have found them indirectly and have been working all their lives to improve the situation, meaning they had the right attitude. They may not have fallen on such hard times that they found it themselves, but at least they are tuned into it so that they are willing to work and try to straighten out the situation so that they're connected with it through the people they associate with and the type of work they do.
Yes, the silent heroes out there that is giving 100% of themselves.
So, I mean, I don't have a lot of tolerance for incompetency. I want everybody to want to improve in the direction of becoming better spiritually and becoming more competent in whatever area they do, so they can and so that they can contribute more what they have to offer. And we need everybody contributing more. We need the people that aren't willing to improve, are stuck in their way spiritually and aren't willing to improve themselves inside and out. To me, they're going to be, we can't worry about them. We have to work with the people that want to make a difference and focus on them, and then we can transform this world. And the people that aren't doing the work, they're going to find themselves in not the best position, and they'll eventually come along. They'll see the examples. Yes. They'll be the last to come along, but they'll find themselves left out. So they'll be very motivated to join in when they see that they're being left out and left behind, because people don't like to be left behind.
Yes. Do your part. Do your examples, one example at a time. Be the best that you can be.
Okay, so the subject today was incompetence, and I hope we did a competent job of dealing with it. Of course, you only can do your best. I stumble over words, but I'm sure I get the point across.
Leave your comments, and we love to hear your questions.
And please subscribe to our YouTube channel and spread the word to other people, because we only have 19 subscribers, and I have so much stuff on the internet all over the place that's Astro Goodwood, and it's about time that people like me get heard, people like Michelle get heard. If we get heard, you'd be surprised all the other people that aren't being heard that will get heard, because we're the type of people that will make sure that other people are heard, because we identify with the people who aren't being heard.
Exactly.
So you join with us, we'll open the door for a lot of other people and that are hard workers.
Yes.
And that's the main thing that we want. We want people that are hard workers, that are trying to make a positive difference in this world.
That's evolving for themselves, yes.
So thank you very much. We appreciate you listening to us.
Thank you.